This lecture shall cover the reasoning sections on ordering and sequencing. In this kind of a question, you will be given maybe alphabets or numbers or symbols which can somehow be arranged in some kind of a logical sequence. Based on the sequence, you will be asked questions and you will have to choose the correct option out of 5 given options. This kind of question tests your quick thinking abilities about how you can quickly order several elements into a sequence and how you quickly can you answer the questions based on this particular sequence. Now in this kind of a question, generally you'll be given a sequence to work out, and based on that sequence you will have multiple questions asked. For instance, you might have a question where you have to work out the order in which people finish a race, and based on that particular theoretical information you will be asked maybe 3 or 4 questions. Let's see how to solve ordering and sequencing questions in 3 easy steps. Step 1 is to write down the sequence. A sequence or an order is going to be described in the question. You have to figure out exactly what that order is. Step 2 is to find elements that are relevant to the question. Now, based on the sequence that you have just worked out, a question will be included. You have to find elements in the sequence that correspond to this particular question that has been asked. Third option is to choose the correct answer from the 5 options provided. Let's look at it with the help of an example. In the question, A, B, C, D and E gave an exam. B scored more than E only. A scored more than D and less than C. The question is, who got the highest score? Step number 1, remember, is to write down the sequence. The question is about the scores that A, B, C, D and E got in the exam. So we have to find the sequence in which their marks are ordered. It's given that B scored more than E only. So B is greater than E, but B is not greater than the other 3. So, since B scored more than E only, we have B greater than E, but B is less than A, C and D. Similarly, we have A scored more than D and less than C. Therefore, we have A greater than D but less than C. If we use these 3 pieces of information, we can sequence each of their marks as E with the lowest score, B has higher than E, then comes D, then comes A, and C is the maximum score. The next step is to find elements relevant to the question. The question asked here is, who got the highest score? Which is C. Therefore, we choose the correct answer, that is C. These kinds of questions require you to think logically. Sufficient practice of different kinds of problems are going to help you structure your thoughts and come up with the answer and come up with the solution to this in a quick manner. Still, let's look at some tips and shortcuts for solving ordering and sequencing questions. This kind of question is fairly easy. There are not many shortcuts that we can give you, but one tip is that you must find the whole sequence. Now there's a reason for this. This is because multiple questions are asked for the same sequence. For example, in the example that we just solved in the previous slides, we were given the relationship between the marks of A, B, C, D and E. Now after this relationship, typically the IBPS is going to base 3 or 4 questions on the information that was provided. Therefore, if you find the whole sequence, that will help you quickly solve all the questions that follow. There are also several practice problems provided to you by Course Mantra. Do solve them to get enough practice so that you can crack this question whenever it's asked in the IBPS.